Welcome, brave souls, to the chilling world of Scary Chronicles. I am your host and I invite you to join me on a spine-tingling journey through the darkest depths of the unknown. In this realm of shadows and suspense, we will unravel haunting tales that send shivers down your spine, leaving you sleepless and yearning for more. Here, the line between reality and the supernatural blurs, and the unexplained will send your imagination into overdrive. The Valley of Demons. The sun was setting as I drove along the long winding roads that snaked through the Valley of Demons. The name alone sent shivers down my spine, but I was an adventurer at heart, seeking thrill and excitement in the unknown. My fascination with eerie legends and ghost stories led me to this cursed place, and I couldn't resist the urge to explore. As darkness enveloped the valley, a heavy mist rolled in, making the atmosphere even more ominous. The headlights cut through the fog, casting eerie shadows on the surrounding trees. Suddenly, a large silhouette darted across the road, and I slammed on the brakes. My heart raced as I peered through the windshield, trying to make sense of what I had seen. It looked like a massive wolf, but there was something eerily human about its eyes. Shaken but determined to uncover the truth, I stepped out of the car, flashlight in hand, and cautiously followed the creature into the darkness. My footsteps echoed in the silence, and the chilling howls of distant wolves sent shivers down my spine. I stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin, its time-worn wood creaking in the breeze. Hesitant but compelled, I pushed the door open. Inside, I found an array of disturbing symbols painted on the walls, and a putrid smell lingered in the air. I felt a cold breeze brush past me, but the cabin seemed empty. That's when I noticed the old journal lying on a rotting table. Its pages revealed the dark history of the Valley of Demons, a place cursed by an ancient tribe for their malevolent practices. As I read on, the journal spoke of a wolf that was once human, a shapeshifter cursed to roam the valley eternally. It was said that anyone who encountered the wolf would be drawn into its enigmatic world, never to return. Fear and curiosity warred within me, but the thrill of the unknown drove me to continue my search. I ventured deeper into the valley, guided by the dim light of the moon. The wolf's haunting cries grew closer, and soon, I found myself standing at the edge of a moonlit lake. There, by the water's edge, stood the massive wolf, its fur a deep ebony. Its eyes glowed with an eerie luminescence as it locked its gaze onto mine. Time seemed to slow, and a strange familiarity washed over me. "Who are you?" I stammered, my voice barely above a whisper. The wolf's response came not in a growl but as a voice inside my head. "I was once a man, like you, cursed to wander these lonely paths in this forsaken valley." I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but the journal's words echoed in my mind, validating the wolf's claim. "How can I break your curse? There is no escape for me, but you, young traveler, still have a chance," the wolf replied cryptically. "Leave this place, forget what you have seen, or face the horrors that lie ahead." Dread and fascination locked me in place. I couldn't abandon this surreal encounter. As I struggled with my decision, the wolf's form began to blur and twist. Slowly, the majestic creature transformed into a human figure, naked and shivering in the cold. "Please, help me," the human-like figure pleaded, revealing fear in its eyes. I felt a surge of empathy, compelled to offer assistance. "Tell me what I must do." The human form revealed that a powerful artifact, hidden deep within the valley, could potentially break the curse. It was a small statuette, imbued with the essence of an ancient guardian who had the ability to reverse the shapeshifter's curse. However, finding the artifact would not be easy, as it was hidden in a labyrinthine underground cave system guarded by malevolent spirits. Despite the dangers, I couldn't resist the call of adventure. Armed with the knowledge of the artifact's location, I embarked on a perilous journey, navigating through treacherous caves, avoiding deadly traps, and confronting malevolent entities that guarded the artifact. As I finally laid my hands on the statuette, an overwhelming sense of triumph washed over me. But my elation was short-lived when I felt a sudden gust of wind, and the cave's entrance sealed shut, trapping me inside. Panic surged through my veins, and I realized that the wolf's curse was not just a legend. It was a malevolent force, seeking to ensnare anyone who dared to cross its path. My own foolishness had led me into this perilous situation. With the artifact in hand, I had a glimmer of hope. The wolf's words echoed in my mind, urging me to leave the valley, but escape seemed impossible. Still, I pressed on, desperate to break free from this nightmarish reality. Hours turned into days as I navigated the labyrinth of caves, haunted by chilling whispers and ghostly apparitions. I fought back the encroaching darkness, clutching onto the hope that the artifact would be my salvation. Finally, I stumbled upon a crack in the cave's wall, leading to the outside world. As I crawled through, I found myself back in the Valley of Demons, under the pale light of the moon. Before me stood the wolf, its eyes a mix of sorrow and pity. "You've returned," it said, its voice tinged with sadness. "I have the artifact," I replied, showing it to the wolf. "Now, release me from this curse." The wolf shook its head. "You have chosen your fate, young traveler. Once you've seen the horrors of this valley, you can never truly leave." As the realization set in, the wolf's form began to blur once more. It was clear that escape was an illusion, and I was destined to roam this cursed land forever. The valley had claimed me, just as it had claimed the wolf. And so, I continued to wander the long winding roads of the Valley of Demons, a lost soul trapped in a realm of horror, mystery, and eternal suspense. The Devil's Contract. The night was dark and gloomy as I found myself on the rooftop of a 7-star hotel, the cold wind biting at my skin. I was lost in my thoughts, trying to escape the mundane existence I had known for so long. As I gazed out at the city lights below, a sudden presence made itself known. Out of thin air, a man appeared before me, dressed immaculately in a finely tailored suit. He exuded an otherworldly charm, and I could feel an unnatural aura surrounding him. "Hello," he said, his baritone voice sending a shiver down my spine. "I couldn't help but notice your yearning for something more, something extraordinary." Surprised by his sudden appearance, I stuttered, "Who are you?" He smiled, his eyes glinting with an enigmatic allure. "Names are of little importance. What matters is what I can offer you." "And what is that?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. "Fame, fortune, and all the desires your heart craves," he replied. "In exchange, I ask for but a simple contract, a contract to claim what rightfully belongs to me." My heart pounded in my chest as I considered his proposition. The allure of fame and fortune was irresistible, and a life of endless possibilities beckoned. However, the mysterious nature of the man before me made me hesitate. "What do you mean by what rightfully belongs to you?" I inquired cautiously. The man chuckled, a sound that echoed through the night like distant thunder. "My dear friend, I am known by many names across cultures and generations, but you may call me Lucifer." I froze, my mind struggling to comprehend the gravity of the situation. Lucifer, the fallen angel, the embodiment of temptation and deceit, stood before me, offering me a pact for unimaginable success. The implications of such a contract weighed heavily on my soul. "Is this some kind of joke or a dream?" I questioned, trying to make sense of the surreal encounter. "I assure you, it is no joke, nor a mere illusion," Lucifer replied with an unsettling smile. "I am here to make a genuine offer. Sign the contract, and the world will be yours to conquer as a renowned musician. Your fame will reach unimaginable heights, and wealth will flow into your life like a river." Temptation wrestled with my moral compass, and I battled the fear that gnawed at my conscience. The allure of fame and fortune tugged at my heartstrings, but I knew that accepting the deal meant surrendering my soul to darkness. "What's the catch?" I finally asked, trying to uncover the hidden truth. "Ah, you are a wise one," Lucifer acknowledged, his smile widening. "The contract stipulates that upon achieving the pinnacle of your success, you shall willingly surrender your soul to me, and I shall claim what is rightfully mine." The darkness in his proposal sent shivers down my spine, but the dream of fame and fortune clouded my judgment. I wrestled with my inner demons, my mind torn between seizing the opportunity and staying true to my principles. Days turned into weeks as I battled the decision, and finally, the allure of fame won over my conscience. I signed the contract, sealing my fate with an elegant stroke of a pen. True to his word, my life transformed. I rose to stardom as a celebrated musician, my songs captivating millions around the globe. Fame embraced me like a long-lost lover, and fortune poured in, granting me unimaginable wealth. For years, I enjoyed the ecstasy of success, and the world celebrated my talent. But with each passing day, the weight of the contract grew heavier, and an eerie feeling of dread lurked in the shadows. As the appointed time approached, I found myself back on that rooftop, the same place where my deal with Lucifer had been struck. The night was darker than ever, and the air felt heavy with foreboding. Lucifer appeared before me once more, his smile unchanged, but his eyes now gleaming with triumph. "The time has come," he announced, "to claim what you owe." Fear and regret gripped my heart, and I tried to plead for mercy, but my voice faltered. I had known the cost of the contract from the beginning, but the reality of losing my soul weighed heavily on my conscience. "Why did you make this deal with me?" I asked, my voice trembling. Lucifer's smile never wavered as he replied, "Because you desired something more than an ordinary life. You craved greatness, and I offered you a taste of the extraordinary. I fulfilled my end of the bargain, and now, it is time for you to fulfill yours." The rooftop seemed to spin around me as I struggled to accept the consequences of my choices. My fame, my wealth, my talent, all of it had come at a terrible price. I had traded my soul for temporary glory, and now, I faced the consequences of my decision. As I stood on that rooftop, on the precipice of my downfall, I couldn't help but ask myself, was it all worth it? Was the price of fame and fortune too high to pay for the sake of my dreams? In the end, the question lingered in the air, unanswered, as the darkness swallowed me whole. The Haunting of Hillwood Manor. In the quaint town of Silverwood, the Parker family, consisting of John, his wife Emily, and their young daughter, Sarah, moved into a seemingly perfect Victorian house nestled at the edge of the woods. Hillwood Manor, as it was called, exuded an eerie charm with its old-fashioned architecture, but the Parkers were drawn to its character and spaciousness. Little did they know that the house held a sinister secret, one that would soon unleash a series of inexplicable events. As the family settled in, they began to experience strange occurrences, odd sounds echoing in the halls, objects disappearing and reappearing in unexpected places, and an unshakable feeling of being watched. Curiosity got the better of Sarah, and while exploring the attic one day, she stumbled upon an ancient-looking Ouija board hidden away in an old chest. Ignoring the cautionary tales she had heard, she decided to play with it, hoping to communicate with friendly spirits. Unbeknownst to her, she had unwittingly opened a gateway to something far more malevolent. As the days passed, the sinister occurrences intensified. Sarah's behavior changed dramatically. She seemed distant and spoke of an imaginary friend named Azazel. Her parents attributed it to her vivid imagination and the stress of moving to a new home, but deep down, they felt an unsettling fear gripping them. One night, as the clock struck midnight, John and Emily heard chanting coming from Sarah's room. Rushing to investigate, they found her sitting in a circle of candles, her eyes glazed over, whispering words in a language neither of them recognized. Panic-stricken, they immediately contacted the local parish and requested the presence of Father Damien, an experienced exorcist known for battling malevolent entities. Father Damien and his assistant, Michael, arrived at Hillwood Manor prepared for a spiritual confrontation. As they entered Sarah's room, an unnatural chill filled the air, and the flickering candles seemed to dance to a hidden rhythm. Father Damien sensed the malevolent presence, immediately recognizing it as Azazel, a demon notorious for possessing innocent souls and twisting them into darkness. The exorcism began, with Father Damien reciting ancient prayers from the Bible. The room trembled, and Sarah's body convulsed as the demon fought to retain control. Michael assisted, holding a crucifix to ward off the dark forces. The battle between good and evil raged on, and Sarah's possessed form levitated above her bed, her eyes now a haunting shade of crimson. As the ritual intensified, the demon's resistance grew stronger. With a violent surge, it flung Michael against the wall, causing him to collapse lifelessly on the floor. But Father Damien pressed on, calling upon divine strength to banish Azazel from Sarah's innocent soul. After what felt like an eternity, the demon's grip on Sarah weakened. With a final burst of holy power, Father Damien managed to expel Azazel from the girl, and she fell unconscious on the bed. The room fell silent, the malevolent presence finally vanquished. The following days were spent mourning the loss of Michael, who had sacrificed his life in the battle against evil. The town mourned his passing and praised him as a hero. Little did they know that the evil had not been fully eradicated. Unbeknownst to her family and the priest, Sarah had not been completely freed from Azazel's influence. Deep inside her, a hidden connection with the demon remained. She pretended to recover, pretending the exorcism had worked, all the while secretly nurturing her ties with the malevolent entity. Months passed, and the Parker family tried to move on from the traumatic events. But Sarah's behavior took a sinister turn. She became withdrawn, her once bright eyes now cold and calculating. Strange occurrences started once again, and a new wave of fear gripped the household. Unaware of the truth, John and Emily tried to seek solace in their faith and support their daughter through her struggles. However, darkness lurked within Sarah, biding its time, as Azazel's malevolent plans slowly began to unfold. The story of Hillwood Manor was far from over, and the battle between good and evil continued to unfold in the shadows, where an innocent girl's soul hung in the balance. Only time would tell whether Sarah would succumb to darkness or find the strength to break free from the demon's sinister influence once and for all. The Whispering Grove. In the heart of a dense forest lay an ancient grove that locals referred to as the Whispering Grove. For generations, the villagers spoke of eerie legends and chilling stories surrounding the grove, tales that deterred all but the bravest souls from venturing near it after dark. Among those brave enough was Anna, a young woman with a fascination for the supernatural. Drawn to the mysteries that enshrouded the Whispering Grove, she embarked on a solo expedition, eager to uncover the truth behind the haunting rumors. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the dense foliage, Anna stepped into the grove. Silence enveloped her, broken only by the soft rustling of leaves and the gentle breeze. The air felt heavy, laden with secrets that refused to be revealed. In the fading light, Anna noticed a peculiar arrangement of stones forming a circle at the heart of the grove. Legends told of a coven of witches who once practiced their dark arts in this very spot, and Anna couldn't resist the temptation to investigate further. Intrigued by the possibility of supernatural encounters, she decided to spend the night within the circle, with her back against the largest stone, eager to witness any otherworldly phenomenon. As the moon reached its zenith, the forest around her seemed to come alive with strange sounds, whispering voices that appeared to emanate from the trees themselves. The voices grew louder and more distinct, speaking in a language long forgotten by mortals. Fear crawled up Anna's spine, but her curiosity held her in place. Suddenly, the trees began to sway rhythmically, as if dancing to an invisible tune. The ground beneath Anna's feet vibrated, and the stones in the circle hummed with an eerie energy. She felt a tingling sensation on her skin, as though unseen hands were gently caressing her. Then, amidst the ethereal whispers, Anna heard a voice that resonated deep within her soul. It spoke of forgotten truths and ancient prophecies, of a malevolent force that had been sealed within the Whispering Grove centuries ago. As the night wore on, Anna felt a growing connection to the grove, like she was becoming a part of its history, entwined with the spirits that lingered there. Unbeknownst to her, she had unwittingly tapped into the very essence of the grove, and the ancient forces it held captive were eager to break free. With the first rays of dawn, the voices ceased, and the grove returned to its stillness. Anna, feeling a mix of awe and trepidation, left the circle and began her journey back to the village. But she couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed within her. In the days that followed, Anna noticed peculiar occurrences around her. Objects moved on their own, and shadows seemed to dance in the corners of her vision. She tried to dismiss them as mere figments of her imagination, but deep down, she knew that she had awoken something dormant within the Whispering Grove. As the weeks passed, Anna's demeanor changed. She became more withdrawn, her once vibrant spirit now overshadowed by a mysterious aura. The villagers sensed a shift in her presence, and rumors of a curse spread like wildfire. Desperate to free herself from the grove's grasp, Anna sought the help of an old sage who lived on the outskirts of the village. The sage revealed the chilling truth, that the grove was a vessel for an ancient entity seeking to regain its lost power. Anna's night within this circle had allowed the malevolent force to merge with her spirit, forming a symbiotic bond. Determined to save Anna's soul, the sage devised a ritual to cleanse the grove and sever the connection between Anna and the entity. On a moonless night, they returned to the Whispering Grove, armed with ancient artifacts and incantations. As they began the ritual, the grove came alive once again. The trees swayed with fury, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. The malevolent entity fought to retain its newfound vessel, resisting with all its might. In the climactic confrontation, the sage channeled his ancient knowledge, invoking the powers of light to banish the malevolent force. The grove erupted in a blinding burst of energy, and Anna's body convulsed as the entity fought to hold on. With one final surge of power, the sage succeeded in breaking the bond between Anna and the malevolent force. The entity was cast back into its eternal prison within the Whispering Grove, and Anna collapsed, unconscious but free. When Anna awoke, she felt the weight of the experience lift from her shoulders. The sage had saved her, but she knew that she would forever carry the memory of that night within her. The Whispering Grove remained a place of wonder and terror, a testament to the forces that lay hidden within the world, waiting for curious souls to awaken them from their slumber. The Haunting of Ravenwood Manor. In the isolated town of Blackwood, nestled deep within the mist-covered woods, Ravenwood Manor stood tall and desolate. Abandoned for decades, the once grand mansion had become a haunting reminder of the dark secrets that shrouded its past. Stories of tragedy and inexplicable occurrences surrounded the mansion, earning it a reputation as the most haunted place in the region. One stormy night, a letter arrived at the doorstep of James Henderson, a renowned paranormal investigator. The letter, written in an elegant script, was an invitation to Ravenwood Manor from an anonymous sender. Intrigued by the enigmatic invitation, James packed his equipment and set off to uncover the truth behind the haunting tales that plagued the mansion. As he approached Ravenwood Manor, the wind howled through the gnarled branches of ancient trees, creating eerie melodies that sent chills down his spine. The mansion loomed before him, its crumbling facade a stark contrast to the once stately home it had been. The windows were dark, and the ivy-covered walls seemed to whisper of long-forgotten secrets. Upon entering the mansion, James was greeted by the dim glow of his flashlight. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay, and the walls seemed to ooze a sense of foreboding. As he began to set up his equipment, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The investigation commenced, and James ventured into the dimly lit rooms. Unexplained sounds echoed through the halls, and shadows seemed to dart in and out of his peripheral vision. The energy in Ravenwood Manor was palpable, and he knew he was not alone. During his exploration, James discovered an old journal hidden in a forgotten corner of the mansion. The journal belonged to Amelia Blackwood, the original owner of Ravenwood Manor, and her entries spoke of love, loss, and a sinister presence that plagued the mansion. Amelia's words hinted at a dark ritual performed by her late husband, Victor Blackwood, to achieve immortality. Determined to uncover the truth, James delved deeper into the journal, learning of a hidden chamber within the mansion, where Victor had supposedly performed the ritual. It was said that the chamber held the key to the malevolent presence that haunted Ravenwood Manor. As the night wore on, the atmosphere within the mansion grew increasingly oppressive. James heard disembodied whispers and saw fleeting apparitions darting through the halls. He knew he was treading dangerous territory, but his curiosity and determination drove him forward. Following the clues from the journal, James found the hidden chamber concealed behind a crumbling wall. He stepped cautiously inside, the air thick with an otherworldly energy. The room was adorned with cryptic symbols, and at its center lay an ancient altar, still stained with blood from the long-past ritual. As James examined the altar, he noticed an ancient artifact, a blood-red gem pulsating with an eerie glow. The artifact appeared to be the source of the malevolent energy that permeated the mansion. Instinctively, James knew that removing the gem would unleash the entity trapped within it, but he also knew that destroying it was the only way to put an end to the haunting. With a trembling hand, he reached for the gem, but as he touched it, the room erupted in a surge of malevolence. The entity within the gem awakened, its presence suffocating, and it lashed out, throwing James against the wall. Helpless and overwhelmed, James watched as the entity began to manifest, its form a dark and twisted reflection of the human it had once been. It revealed itself as Victor Blackwood, consumed by his thirst for immortality and bound to the gem through a dark pact. Victor taunted James, relishing in the torment he had brought upon the mansion's inhabitants over the years. But as James looked into the entity's eyes, he saw a glimmer of the man Victor once was, a tortured soul trapped in a nightmarish existence. With a surge of courage, James used the knowledge from Amelia's journal and began an incantation to break the cursed bond between Victor and the gem. The room trembled, and a vortex of energy enveloped them both. As James recited the ancient words, memories of Victor's life and the dark ritual flooded his mind. In the midst of the chaos, a figure appeared in the doorway, a spectral manifestation of Amelia Blackwood. She pleaded with Victor to let go of his anger and find peace. As her words reached him, a spark of recognition flickered in Victor's eyes, and for a brief moment, the darkness wavered. James seized the opportunity and channeled all his energy into the incantation. The gem cracked, and the entity's grip on Victor weakened. With a final burst of strength, James shattered the gem, releasing the malevolent presence back into the void from whence it came. As the darkness dissipated, James found himself alone in the chamber. The malevolent energy that had plagued Ravenwood Manor had vanished, and an overwhelming sense of relief washed over him. He knew that Victor's soul had finally found peace. With his investigation complete, James left Ravenwood Manor behind, forever changed by the experience. The haunted mansion had held its secrets for centuries, but now, the truth had been uncovered, and the malevolent presence had been put to rest. As he walked away from the dark history of Ravenwood Manor, James understood that some mysteries were meant to remain buried, and that the line between the living and the dead was a delicate one, where the past could reach out to touch the present in terrifying ways. The Midnight Carnival ***. In a quaint, forgotten town called Ashbourne, nestled at the edge of a dense forest, an old carnival emerged once every 100 years on the stroke of midnight. Legend had it that the carnival was a sinister gathering of lost souls and malevolent entities, all under the control of a mysterious ringmaster named Mr. Blackwood. The townspeople whispered tales of the cursed carnival, warning their children never to venture near its rusted gates. But curiosity can be a dangerous thing, and for a group of adventurous teenagers, Alex, Emma, Ryan, and Lily, the tales of the Midnight Carnival only fueled their desire to explore the forbidden grounds. One moonlit night, as the clock struck midnight, the teenagers gathered at the edge of the forest, drawn by an irresistible pull. The carnival materialized before them, the flickering lights and eerie music beckoning them closer. Heart-pounding, they crossed the threshold, stepping into a realm of darkness and secrets. Mr. Blackwood, the enigmatic ringmaster, stood at the entrance, his face hidden beneath a porcelain mask. His smile was both inviting and chilling, as he welcomed the teenagers to his world of twisted wonders. He offered them each a silver ticket, inviting them to partake in the mysteries of the carnival. The carnival's attractions were unlike any they had ever seen. Dark tents concealed bizarre exhibits, grotesque creatures, macabre performances, and fortune-tellers who seemed to see through their very souls. As the night wore on, the carnival's grip on the teenagers tightened, pulling them deeper into its clutches. Unbeknownst to the teens, Mr. Blackwood was no ordinary ringmaster. He was a being of darkness, a puppet master manipulating the strings of their fears and desires. He reveled in the desperation of lost souls seeking something more, using their vulnerability to ensnare them within his malevolent grasp. As the hours passed, the carnival's true nature began to unravel. Alex, Emma, Ryan, and Lily felt a sinister presence closing in around them, and the once enchanting exhibits turned into horrifying nightmares. Their silver tickets, now fused to their skin, were a permanent reminder of their unwitting pact with the darkness. In a moment of panic, they tried to flee, but the carnival's paths twisted and turned, leading them right back to where they started. They were trapped, and the clock was ticking. The only way to escape the Midnight Carnival was to confront Mr. Blackwood himself. In a final showdown, the teenagers confronted the ringmaster, demanding to be released from his clutches. With a malevolent smile, Mr. Blackwood revealed his true identity, a dark entity that had thrived on humanity's fear and despair for centuries. He taunted them, claiming that he was the real and true God, and that the world had been deceived by a false deity. But the teenagers refused to succumb to his lies. With unwavering determination, they united their strength and courage, breaking the silver ticket's hold over them. In a surge of light and hope, they fought back against the darkness, forcing Mr. Blackwood to retreat. As the carnival began to collapse around them, the teenagers fled for their lives. The forest seemed to swallow them whole, as if protecting them from the horrors they had witnessed. They emerged at the edge of Ashbourne, the first rays of dawn breaking over the horizon. The midnight carnival vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared, leaving behind only memories of terror and survival. The teenagers vowed never to speak of the carnival again, but its influence remained etched in their hearts. In the years that followed, the four friends went their separate ways, each carrying scars from that fateful night. Yet, they were forever bound by the shared experience, a reminder that darkness could be defeated when faced with courage and unity. And so, the legend of the Midnight Carnival continued, passed down through generations, a cautionary tale for those who dared to seek the unknown. But little did anyone know, deep within the shadows, Mr. Blackwood's malevolent laughter echoed, biding his time until the next cycle of the cursed carnival would emerge to claim new victims,